In this video, we're diving into the creativity problem that I know most of you feel, and I've also felt during my own content journey. You sit down to create something and suddenly your mind's blank. Every client conversation you've ever had, every coaching insight you've noted and wanted to deliver, the things you really believe about training and transformation, it all just vanishes. So you scroll for inspiration, and that makes it worse. You overthink, you draft something, you decide it's not good enough, and then you close your laptop and tell yourself, I'll try again tomorrow. Here's what I know after over 2 decades in marketing. The blank page problem isn't usually a creativity problem. It's not even a time problem. It's almost always a systems problem. So today, I want to go deeper on the system that fixes it. If you watched the last episode, I referenced the see, make, say creative flow. And once this clicks for you, you'll never stare at a blank page again because you'll realize that the content was never missing. It was already happening all around you. You just didn't have the systems in place to see it. Let's get into it. Before we get into the actual system, I want to share a few things that I believe to be true about your content. Because if we don't get this right first, the framework just won't land the way it should. So number 1, your content is all around you. And you showing up consistently is what's going to build influence, what's going to make you undeniably the right coach for a very specific person. Not because every piece is perfect, but because you stayed with it long enough for your voice and your ideas to actually take shape. Remember, the coaches who build trust are the coaches who just kept showing up until their ideas got clear, until everything clicked. Number 2, creating to meet expectations weakens your work. When you're making content to hit a specific format, please the algorithm, or repeat what others in the industry are doing, you stop clarifying your own ideas. You stop digging deep and discovering what's within you. And without that unique depth, we don't break through, we don't connect in a meaningful way, and we don't build trust. Number 3, your intuition, your taste, your lived experience. Those are the things that turn ordinary ideas into meaningful content because your perspective, your take, your beliefs are what shape your coaching content signature. 2 coaches can communicate the same core message in very different ways, but the one who filters through their own worldview, through their unique coaching lens, that's the one people remember. Number 4, your creativity applied across your coaching domain is what builds proof. Not just proof of what you do, not just the proof of the results you deliver, but the proof of how you think. When a client or a prospective client hears your unique take and it connects to them personally, it shifts how they see you. And number 5, your essence, your perspective, it can't be outsourced. The work you hesitate to share, the take that feels too strong, the story that feels too personal, the opinion that might ruffle someone, that's usually the content that carries the most truth because it brings more of you into your content. And that's what builds true connection. So when I say your content is all around you, this is what I mean. It's your perspective. It's your instinct. It's your core coaching beliefs. The question becomes, do you have the systems in place to pull that out of you? And that's the system we're talking about today. You're coaching every single day. You're watching clients struggle with the same things. You're noticing patterns. You're asking questions, giving cues, seeing breakthroughs. You have opinions, strong ones, about how people train, about how habits form, what actually works, and what most of the industry keeps getting wrong. What you're missing is the habit of seeing it, capturing it, and turning it into something. And that's exactly what the see, make, say creative flow does. It's not a content calendar. It's not a posting schedule. It's a creative rhythm that mirrors how you coach. Think about it this way. When you're coaching a client on Monday, you don't think about what you're going to say to them. It just happens. You've been paying attention to their training all week. You've been watching, noticing, documenting, commenting back and forth. By the time your training session starts, you already know what needs to be addressed. This creative flow is the same thing for your content. Let's break down each part of the loop. The first step is see. If you've come through the OPEX world, and particularly the OPEX method, you're familiar with NEPA. Notice, explain, prescribe, action. We notice client behaviors without judgment. We explain observations and ask powerful questions. We prescribe solutions based on those findings, and we action with clear implementation plans. I want you to apply that same process to the C section of this loop. Most people think content creation only happens when I sit down and turn on the camera, but the true work begins long before we hit play. The seeing, the noticing, that has to happen 24/7. We have to create the habit of documenting our noticings. All day long, you're operating inside of your coaching practice. You're on client consults, you're writing programs or reviewing client feedback, you're training yourself, You're having conversations with your peers. You're doing check-ins and assessments. You're aware of what's happening on social and in the industry. In all of those moments, things are happening where there's something worth saying. A new client mentions they're nervous to enter the gym. That's content. You watch someone finally nail a movement pattern. That's content. A new client tells you they worked with 3 coaches who gave them a templated program and they struggled to stick to it. That's content. You read something on social media that makes you want to push back. That's content. You see your feed of people sharing fitness tips that you disagree with. That's content. The goal of the C phase is simple. You notice something. You capture it. You don't evaluate it yet, but you take note. It's important here to be organized and have one place where you drop all of your noticings, something easy to access. So maybe it's a shared note on your phone. Maybe it's a running Google Doc. Maybe it's a Notion page. Pick one place where you can document all of your noticings every day. And here are the richest places for you to look. The coaching conversations that you're having all day long, your own training and experiences, your feed, your calendar. The C phase isn't necessarily where your creativity breaks through. It's just the place where you notice and capture. This is a daily exercise of you being present and creating the daily habit of collecting the raw material all around you. At the end of every week, you should have a pretty solid list of noticings. It might be 20, it might be 50, it might be 100. But get in the practice of documenting everything. The second step of the loop is make. Once a week, you sit down with that list. You pick one thing. You go deeper on it. You think hard. You shape your ideas and you create a framework or a structure that connects deeply to a client challenge connected to that noticing. That's what the make phase is all about. You take one noticing and you run it through your coaching content signature. You connect your beliefs to that topic with your delivery style and you shape your perspective. And you make something with a real point of view. And you're not just reporting on the topic, you're coaching through the topic. You're sharing what you believe about that noticing, why it matters to your ideal client, and what they should do next. That distinction is everything because we know that information and attention don't win anymore. In today's mature market, it's about connection, perspective, and proof. That's how we stand out and that's how we build trust. And that work becomes your weekly content anchor or your magnet video. For more on that, make sure you check out the video on the minimum viable marketing system. I want you to protect your weekly make session like it's your job. Put it on your calendar and don't miss it. Pick a day. Put it in your schedule, treat it like it's a client session because now it's part of your practice. And then the last part of the loop, you put it out into the world. You publish your weekly video. You take that core idea and you repurpose it in your short form. You create those hand raiser moments. You open conversations in your DMs. You actually engage with potential clients and you deliver them more value by directing them to your long form video. And the binge cycle begins. That's the loop. See something. A real noticing, connect it to your beliefs, make something awesome. This loop is your creative flow. What do you see? What do you believe about it? Say that with your voice, with your perspective, with your experience, not what you think other people want you to say, but what you actually want to say. This creative flow is a transfer of energy. What you see in the world, real moments, real conversations, real frictions your clients feel. That's living energy. And when you make something from that energy and you share it, the energy transfers. It's why I'm so passionate about helping you guys love content and love marketing because content that coaches from a pro coach like you is going to hit different. Now, I've intentionally made this creative flow light because I want you to enjoy it. And I don't want you to feel like you have all these rules. I want you to feel free. I want you to enjoy the process. I want you to actually coach through your content. My goal for you is to create these systems so that you can have consistency in sharing your unique perspective and real coaching value into the world. So here's the rhythm. 24/7, be a noticer. See things, capture them. Weekly, mind your list. Pick one noticing, shape it, and make something amazing. Say something meaningful that helps you develop influence and that elevates our industry. This loop, this creative flow, if you adopt it, you're going to become a content machine and you're going to create content that makes a difference. And here's what I want to leave you with. Your goal is to shrink this loop, to increase the velocity from seeing to saying. If you adopt this weekly practice, you're going to get better rep by rep. And you might even get so good and so comfortable that you accelerate this process into a daily practice. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. The better you get at communicating your ideas. The more content you put out into the world that actually coaches, the more impact you have, the more influence you gain, and the more lead flow that enters your world. But for this to work, it has to be an honest reflection of your coaching voice. It has to be unique to you. You can't just repeat what others are doing. You're not everyone. You're uniquely you with your own perspective and your own experiences. and your own results. And those ideas and those results deserve to be shared. You really don't know what opportunities are going to come your way from you putting your perspective out into the world. But when you're brave and when you do this for the long game, you build a body of work that you're proud of, that reflects your coaching, that serves your clients, and that attracts new clients into your world. So share your worldview, shift beliefs, open conversations, coach through your content, impact more viewers, and attract more clients. This is making marketing a part of your coaching practice. And like any practice, it gets better rep by rep. So here's your action item this week. Create your noticing list, the home base of all of the things that you see in the world. Start seeing and capturing. Block your creative time in your calendar and protect it. Use that time to make something meaningful. Enjoy the process. It's going to make you a better coach, and put it out into the world, because you don't know who you're going to impact. You don't know who's going to share it, but you do know that if you don't do it, people won't see it. If you use the frameworks I'm giving you, you will create momentum and lead flow will happen. You'll open conversations. People will come into your world. You'll impact them deeply and the conversion will come. This is a long game and we're all in. If you haven't watched the episode on the 8-step marketing roadmap, I suggest that you watch that next, because it guides you through where to start, what to do next, and how to create the systems that you need to have in place. If you want to go deeper on building your content strategy and your marketing systems, then I want you to join the next cohort of the OPEX Method Mentorship, where I get to personally work with you and a small group of peer coaches to actually build this. You can do it on your own, but I'd really love to help you. If you have any questions, hit me in the DMs. I'm here to serve and I want to help. Thanks for listening to Marketing for Fitness Coaches, the show that helps you make marketing a part of your practice, not a task you avoid. If this show connected for you, I'd appreciate if you share it with a coach friend. I want to make as much impact as I can, so I need your help to do that. Remember that this show is part of the CoachRx podcast network, a collection of shows created by coaches who are elevating the coaching conversation. I'd love for you to check out all of the shows from my peers who are creating content to support your coaching journey. And speaking of CoachRx, if you're not using CoachRx, and you're an individual design coach, you need to be. It is the operating system for individual design coaches, and it will level up your practice in unbelievable ways. You can start your free trial. That link is in the description below. If you're interested in joining the OPEX method, that link is also below. That's it for this video. I'll be back next week with a new episode. Keep coaching, keep creating content, and remember, I'm here to help.